Do you know? How far can Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever take their red-hot momentum? On Friday night, the Fever continued their remarkable post-Olympic surge with a dominant 181 victory over Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Now riding a 5-1 record since the Olympic break, the Fever, 16-16, have clawed their way back to 500 for the first time since 2022 and have overtaken the Phoenix Mercury for 6th place in the standings. Could this be the season they finally clinch their first playoff berth since 2016? And if there was any doubt left about who would win Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark put it to rest with one of her most impressive performances yet. Facing off against fellow rookie Angel Reese, Clark was unstoppable, orchestrating the Fever's offense with a flawless mix of scoring and playmaking. The Sky simply had no answers for her. By the fourth quarter, with the game well in hand, Clark was skipping down the court with joy, and when she finally checked out, she hyped up the crowd as if she were playing at home. Her final stat line? A career-high 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists. In doing so, Clark became only the 5th player in WNBA history to record a 30-point, 10-assist game. She also notched her 5th game of 20 points and 10 assists, the most in the league this season. This battle between two of the league's top rookies not only resulted in a thrilling game, but also drew a sellout crowd, highlighting the excitement surrounding the Fever's resurgence. At one point, the Fever trailed 21-9, but they quickly turned the tide and controlled the game, securing their largest victory of the 2024 season. With a team as talented as the Indiana Fever and a player as extraordinary as Caitlin Clark, how far can they go? Is this the beginning of a deep playoff run? Here are 5 compelling reasons why veteran squads should be wary of encountering Clark and her surging Fever in the postseason. 1. Caitlin Clark's relentless pace is a playoff game-changer. Caitlin Clark has turned the Indiana Fever into a high-octane team, now ranking 5th in the league with a pace of 97.07. Her elite point guard skills drive this tempo, making the Fever's fast-paced game a serious challenge for opponents. Clark's knack for pushing the ball in transition and finding open teammates at just the right moment keeps slower teams on their heels. The Fever's rapid offense, led by Clark, isn't just about style. It's a winning strategy. Veteran WNBA star Sue Bird emphasized this on the A Touch More podcast, where she discussed how the Fever's pace could be a game-changer in the playoffs. Bird remarked, "I think what I've learned in my WNBA experience is that the pace of play trumps physicality. It trumps size. It can trump experience. Because a lot of times when you're experienced, it's really like code word for you're a veteran, which is code for old. And what I see in Caitlin, what I see in Kelsey Mitchell, they're just like ramming it down people's throats. And it's really hard. It can have your head spinning." Clark's ability to dictate the tempo makes her and the Fever a daunting matchup. 2. The Fever's unyielding home court dominance. Caitlin Clark's presence on the Fever has revitalized fan interest, packing arenas wherever the team plays. The so-called Caitlin Clark effect draws fans from far and wide, turning every game into a high-energy affair. This surge in attendance gives the Fever a significant home court advantage, one that veteran teams might underestimate at their peril. Even though the Fever currently sit 6th in the standings, which would limit them to just one home game in the first round, that single game could be pivotal. The enthusiasm and support Clark draws could be the difference in a tightly contested playoff series. Opponents should be prepared for an atmosphere that is anything but ordinary when they step into the Fever's home arena. 3. A ruthless young core ready to devour veterans. While Caitlin Clark is undeniably the centerpiece of the Fever, she is far from the team's only weapon. The Fever have a young, talented core that is hungry for success. Clark herself averages 17.8 points, 8.3 assists, and 5.8 rebounds per game, showcasing her all-around abilities. But she's complemented by several other rising stars. Kelsey Mitchell is another key contributor, averaging 17.7 points per game, while Aaliyah Boston adds 14.0 points, 9.0 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game. Nalissa Smith is also a force to be reckoned with, contributing 11.4 points and 7.8 rebounds per game. Beyond the starters, the Fever's bench has shown it can step up in crucial moments, with players like Lexi Hall, who recently scored a career-high 22 points against the Seattle Storm. This combination of youth and talent makes the Fever a dangerous opponent. Their desire to prove themselves and make a deep playoff run adds a layer of unpredictability that veteran teams should not overlook. 4. The Fever are peaking. Veterans beware. After a rocky start to the season, the Fever have caught fire, winning 12 of their last 19 games. This late-season surge has positioned them as a team no one wants to face in the playoffs. Their current momentum could carry them deep into the postseason, especially if they continue to play with the same confidence and determination that has fueled their recent success. Momentum is a powerful force in sports, and the Fever have it in spades. Their turnaround from a 5-game losing streak at the start of the season to their current form is a testament to their resilience and growth. Veteran teams should be wary of a Fever squad that has found its rhythm and is playing with nothing to lose. 5. The Fever's imminent surge, a dangerous playoff path ahead. One of the biggest advantages the Fever have going into the playoffs is their relatively easy remaining schedule. According to Tankathon, the Fever's final 12 games are the league's easiest, giving them a golden opportunity to secure a favorable playoff position. Their final stretch includes a mix of home and away games, starting with a tough 9-day road trip against the Minnesota Lynx, Atlanta Dream, Connecticut Sun, and Chicago Sky. However, they'll have the luxury of playing 6 consecutive home games afterward, against teams like the LA Sparks, Lynx, Dream, and the Las Vegas Aces twice. This stretch will allow the Fever to build momentum heading into the playoffs. They will conclude their regular season on September 19th against the Washington Mystics. This advantageous schedule positions the Fever to enter the playoffs with confidence, well-rested and ready to take on all challengers. For veteran teams facing a well-prepared and fresh Indiana Fever squad, led by the dynamic Caitlin Clark, could be a playoff nightmare. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever represent a formidable challenge in the WNBA playoffs. Their fast-paced play, genuine home court advantage, young and hungry roster, strong momentum, and favorable remaining schedule make them a team that no veteran squad should take lightly. Caitlin Clark is on a mission, and the Indiana Fever are ready to shake things up in the playoffs. Don't miss a single second of the action as the Fever bring the heat. And if you don't want to miss out on any of this action, you know what to do. Subscribe to She Got Game and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with every game, highlight, and story as Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever light up the WNBA. You'll get front-row access to all the thrills, chills, and jaw-dropping skills. Stay tuned, because the WNBA is hotter than ever. Thanks for watching, and remember, never forget to shoot your shot.